What they do, all of my gram addicts, this is Orion, aka Brass Balls. Another episode of Deep Dive Tape Stash. We are going to get into this Sporty Thievz, no Pigeons. And before I even get into this tape cassette and go into my rants and my tirades and my hot takes or whatnot, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Orion Hip Hop. I would appreciate it very much. You can like, comment, share, repost, all of that. That is also really, really well appreciated on my side. Now, this No Pigeons hit, this classic of a gem, this thing right here that should be in the Hall of Fame of the Mansphere music is a classic. But why? Why did this come into our existence? The year was 1999, and TLC, being the group that they were, as big as they were, they dropped a hit on everybody and a hit on most men. And these were what they declared as scrubs. The dudes riding passenger seat, shotgun, fronting like they was the man when you know they was really scrubs. So TLC hit us over the head with No Scrubs. And I ain't gonna lie, man, at that time I was in high school. I remember that I was talking to this girl one time and the song had just recently come out. I wasn't up on TLC. I was on my Wu-Tang shit at the time, bro. But she starts singing this shit because at that time I was like a freshman in high school, or maybe early sophomore year, and I ain't have a whip yet. And it was right after she asked me if I had a whip, and she starts singing this shit, man. Like sneak dissing me, bro. So when Sporty Thievz dropped this No Pigeon shit, I definitely talked about that bitch. I definitely thought about that hoe. And shout out to Sporty Thievz for dropping a response track on behalf of all men out there, especially the poor dudes, the broke dudes with no whips, you know. Now, in my defense at that time, I was still young, man. I don't even think I had my license at that time. So, you know what I mean? How you gonna do me like that? You know what I mean? Or I may have had my license, but I was working to get a car. Whatever, man. You know, fuck that hoe. Damn it. Anyways, this track from Sporty Thievz had a video and everything. It hit just as big as No Scrubs because of the whole hit on the feminism going on in a lot of R&B pop songs at that time. This was a parody song, of course. It was all fair love and war, if you will, and it is what it is. Now, Sporty Thievz were ahead of their time with this joint because this is Kevin Samuels, this is whatever podcast, Fresh and Fit, like those podcasts that I name, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, should be playing this No Pigeon song, or a lot of Sporty Thievz song for that. And I'm gonna get into that in a second because, you know, Street Cinema is the album that they had dropped, and they actually dropped Street Cinema in 1998, just a little before this No Pigeons. But the label was smart enough to recognize that, hey, we got these guys, they just dropped an album, but they're doing this response track, let's add it onto the album. Very smart move, very smart play. They could have just let it ride on some single, pick it up on vinyl on 12-inch thing. But no, they decided to revamp the album and put it in there, of course, because this shit was hitting big. Prior to this, the album's single was a song called Cheapskate. Now, I wasn't a fan of Cheapskate, to be honest. I don't like the beat, and the messaging is cool. I mean, it's on some Mansphere shit as well. So No Pigeons was right up this group's alley when it came to what they were comfortable writing about. Now, before I even keep going on, I want to shout out Stunted Growth. That is a dope channel on YouTube. Go check that brother out. He's got some real dope episodes about a lot of rappers we grew up on that, you know, quite didn't reach the climax of their careers for whatever reason. Shout out to that dude, man, because that's an excellent channel. But RIP to Marlon, Bryan, Brando. He is one of the members of Sporty Thievz. Sporty Thievz was a trio, and unfortunately, Marlon, Bryan, Brando passed away too soon in 2001. He was hit by a car, but saved a little boy's life. This is according to what was out at the time on the press and what is out on the internet. But he pushed a little boy out of the way before getting hit by a drunk driver. So, you know, rest in peace to Marlon, Bryan, Brando. That type of story should be more in the press when it comes to rappers, but instead they'd rather talk about rappers doing crazy street shit. Anyways, the trio was from Yonkers, New York. And in 1998, 1999, there was a Harlem, Yonkers renaissance of rappers coming out. You know, of course, DMX, Mace. But the Locks being a trio, I kind of felt overshadowed this group to a certain extent because of the fact that the Locks were a trio and from Yonkers. This group had a lot of similarities to the Locks. Now, the Locks are very much different in what they talk about and how they structure their verses or not, but the lingo and just the tones of their voices, very much like Sporty Thievz as well. And I think that may have hurt this group, in my personal opinion. The group itself had King Kirk within it. He was an MC, but he also was on the production tip as well. And one of the producers of this group is Ski. Ski Beats is responsible for Camp Lo's hit, Lucchini. It's responsible for Jay-Z's hit, Feelin' It, and Jay-Z's Dead Presidents. So this dude definitely had some bangers under his belt, and I was hyped to hear Sporty Thievz because once I saw that the credits had Ski Beats production, I was really hyped to hear this Street Cinema album. Much to my surprise, the Street Cinema album is a storytelling album. Almost every single track is a storytelling track, which is very different. Big shout out to them brothers for doing a concept album like that. Although I'm a fan of storytelling tracks, I would have loved to have seen some other type of tracks from these brothers on that album, but it is what it is. You know, songs like Raw Footage featuring Tragedy Gaddafi are bangers. So if you've never checked out that album, Street Cinema, go check it out. It's worth a listen for sure. The one thing I will say, you know, Rough House is the label they were signed under, and Rock-A-Block, which is Ski Beats production label. You know, the one thing that I would say that they dropped the ball on with rolling out the Street Cinema album is the album cover. The album cover is a standard photo, and once again, that 1998, 1999 era of rap, it just felt a little too flashy, that cover, and it really didn't fit what this album was as a product. I think it would have serviced the album better had they had an illustrated album cover similar to like some black exploitation film, kind of like what Bobby Digital, RZA did with Bobby Digital, or with what El the Sensei and K-Def did with their album Jersey Connection. I think this album would have fit better. Would an illustrated cover kind of like in that realm would have fit this album better and would have serviced the album better. Remember, when this album came out, people were still buying CDs. So your album cover meant a lot to people and it helped sell that product. That's why I'm saying this. It's not just on some rap nerd shit. Although it kind of is, but you know what it is. Now, as much of a success as this song was for the rap group, unfortunately, it pigeonholed them. No pun intended. But I kind of feel like it typecasted them as lyricists. And it's a shame because on Street Cinema, you can hear how good their pens really were. I mean, to do that many stories and to really do a back and forth the way that they were doing, you know, really shows off some of the talent that they had as MCs. And it's unfortunately that Marlon, Bryan, Brando passed away when he did, because I'm pretty sure that really stunted where this group was going. So No Scrubs was produced by Dallas Austin, but it also had a hand of production from somebody named Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare also is credited as the producer for No Pigeons. So shout out to that brother and whoever his management was, because they easily could have not given permission for Sporty Thievz to do this. But money-wise, it made perfect sense. And the dude collected 2 checks in 1999. One from No Scrubs and one from No Pigeons. So shout out to Shakespeare for, you know, getting in on that. You know, that's double dipping. That is the true definition of double dipping right there. So on the B side is Even Cheaper, which is the remix to Cheapskate. I mentioned Cheapskate earlier in this video. I really wasn't feeling that track. Cheapskate, you know, it just didn't do it for me, the beat. But then Even Cheaper, kind of more or less on the same path. Not really feeling it, to be honest with you. It's featuring a duo, a female duo. Major Coins. Now, this made perfect sense for them to do that, because the last thing you want to be is like a complete female hater known rap group. You know, that's not a good look either. So I definitely understand why they decided to do that. That was a good move politically, of course. And that even cheaper remix is produced by Ski Beats, Rock-A-Block Productions. Like I said, it's featuring a female duo, Major Coins, made up of Liz Liette and Emil. Emil, everybody knows, was signed to Rockefeller, first female rapper out of the Rockefeller camp. Unfortunately, that kind of didn't pan out for her, and there's a lot of videos into that and a lot of conspiracies, Illuminati type of things that go into that, if you will. But that's not what this video is about. Y'all could do your own research and go into that wormhole. So yeah, man, go check out Sporty Thievz album, Street Cinema, if you haven't. They have other material that they released since the release of that album in 1998. But, you know, definitely this is a banger of a joint. One that is in the Hall of Fame, like I said, of the mansphere of music. Now, you may be looking at this tape like, oh, Ryan, man, this tape is busted the fuck up. And that it is, my friends. Now, I copped this tape from eBay, and this is the condition I got it in. It is what it is. I wish it wasn't in this condition. I wish I had it in better condition, but hey, you know, that's how it be sometimes, dog. I'd rather have it than not have it at all, you know? So, with that said, thank you for peeping another episode of Deep Dive Tape Stash. I hope y'all enjoying these. Go to my YouTube. That's where you can see previous episodes. Go check out the recent release of a mixtape I dropped, which is a podcast mixtape I did with my brother DJ XS. It's only exclusively available on my SoundCloud page, WDDH Radio. That is the SoundCloud page where you can check out not only this 23andMe podcast mixtape album that I dropped, but you can also peep the many Plancha mixtapes that I got on there and the many interviews that I have with dope legendary veterans in this rap shit within Dade County, South Florida. Peace.